that I've enjoyed the other presentations and I've gotten a lot of great ideas that we'll be able to use. But I feel very small compared to a lot of the institutions. But as one of the smaller state colleges, I do think that where we are, we're a big deal. So welcome to the Academic Center for Excellence at Chipola College. And as my tutors would say, where nerds rock. We believe we're a model for small institutions. We began as part of a QEP process, and this was along with SI and first-year learning. And what we discovered through that process is, we're a commuter school, and the SI model didn't really work for us, so we changed it to CSI, which was Chipola Supplemental Instruction, and eventually it just ended up in the ACE in the tutoring center. So we've really pretty much picked up the success skills workshops, the supplemental instruction and group tutoring, but we are a drop-in tutoring center. We really don't take appointments. We believe that we maximize access and success for all of our students. But first things first, we focus on learning and persistence, and you can have a clear career goal and plan for getting through that and what you're going to do with your degree. But if you don't pass the class, if you don't pass Chem 1, you're not going to get to organic chemistry. So we find out where they are, help them get through their material, and try to explain it in ways that make learning meaningful, and we meet those student learning goals. But we really are the front line, on that front line with our students. We believe we have an increased access for all students. I don't think I can say it any better than we have it here on the slide. Student made a 92 on a calc test. What more can I say? But there's some, to be a pharmacist, or not just an engineer, but to be a pharmacist or a physician, you've got to pass Calc 1 and have a good grade in Calc 1 on the first attempt. We had a pre-med meeting last week, and the data is showing that if you have a withdrawal in a core class, you are 80% less likely to get into medical school. So, and of course, I picked my second picture here. I had my young men working on their differential equations on the left, so I had to add the women on the right side. But it's not unusual to see our tutors and their friends and working on the same things on the board together, trying to learn things in a really deep, meaningful way. We do more than just academic skills. We talk about some of the soft skills, time management, study skills that we have. The ACE has really worked hard with students to integrate ACE into their day. When they have a break, sometimes the only break that our students have, they jam those classes together trying to get finished and home to work. So sometimes it's only during lunch that they can come in. They eat in the lab, everything wipes down, the design of the building was set, and for that there are loud spaces, there are quiet spaces. But you can see on the board here, this is just from one day of our review sessions getting ready for finals, that it's a very, very busy place on our campus. One of the reasons that we believe that ACE has worked so well on our campus, first of all, it's very flexible. We make changes quickly. But it has a lot to do with the staffing design. And a lot of our learning center meetings that we have, state and nationally, we talk about where learning centers are in the hierarchy of administration. And the ACE is directly under the Vice President of Academics, but we work very closely with the Associate Dean, Associate Vice President now of Student Services. I'm on the left, and the picture here, I tutor all day in between. We fill a lot of holes, and I still teach calculus and statistics. I teach in the math ed department. I'm teaching the math methods course now. I'm the pre-med advisor. I'm the honors program director. At small colleges, you wear lots of hats, and that has been very, very helpful, I believe, for us in the lab to have those connections. On the right, you see one of our peer tutors. Our staffing, I'm the director of the lab. I have a coordinator who actually was a peer tutor in here years before. And all of the other staff members are peer tutors. There are no other faculty members. All the faculty that come in and work are volunteers. We have a 40 volunteer group that are students from the honors program. And we even have some staff assistants. I've got one staff assistant that does some tutoring after her hours for Spanish and for our international students. So the design itself has made it a very cost-effective measure for the colleges to keep after our Title for the Strengthening Institution Grant moved away, for us to be able to pick it up as part of the funding that the college has to pay for every year. But there are a lot of stakeholders in the the college. You know, we have our students, which of course come first. We have our institution, our faculty, our community. But sometimes I think those who benefit the most are probably the tutors themselves. And you can see in this picture, these are 5 tutors that finished up at Chipola with their AA at the same time, and all 5 entered the College of Medicine at FSU. All 5 are now practicing in our local districts. One's in Alabama in Dothan, but it's very close to home. But all 5 of those came back to work. Every tutor in 2017, when we did our tutor survey, said that they believe their grades were better because they had worked in the lab. They have more contact with faculty, and getting comfortable working with faculty is a really great skill to take with you to the university. They also participate in service learning that we often coordinate in the lab. Many of our tutors are honors program. They're Phi Theta Kappa, science club members as well.
There's some comments.
And but they also network with a lot of like-minded students, and sometimes the things that happen in here are a lot of fun along with the academics. But these tutors earn a lot of academic awards and scholarships. And I'd like to say that if I had a superpower, it was being able to identify who were going to be our top students before they entered, because we have to hire them before they come in. We're a 2-year school, and I don't have organic tutors that finished organic and are still here to tutor. They've graduated. That's a sophomore course. So many of my tutors are actually in the courses along with the students that they're helping in the lab. And awards night, we have the calculus award winner and the chemistry award, the lit winner are all ACE tutors. Our wall of honor that you'll see on an upcoming slide, the last 14 were ACE tutors. So, you know, I really believe that it's certainly not my superpower, but it's the fact that they worked in the lab and they know the material at a much, much deeper level of learning. And because they do explain it to somebody else, they have to understand not just the algorithm and the skill, but a way to explain it so that somebody understands the material as well. So whether it is basic algebra or it is differential equations, they're able to break it down and explain it to those other students, and they're better served that way as well. One of the tutors said, I know chemistry and calculus on a level that I would not have got to know without teaching it to other students. And I think all of us probably, even as we were students, would agree with that. In the left picture, we have Mr. Charles, who's one of our older students who's just completed his bachelor's degree in business here at Chipola. And he's worked with many of our tutors on campus, and he is one of the first ones to say that it's been very beneficial for him. The larger picture, the group of young men that are here are engineering majors. Only 3 of those are tutors. So what happens is our family of tutors extend to a larger learning community, and took a group of them over to meet at one of the local engineering colleges at the university. But it does expand into the other student groups. So students that are working in physics together, they're in physics and calculus, all those classes. So it's just a natural development of learning communities that's happened on campus. And sometimes ACE is just the place. It's the place to meet. It's the place to study, the place to gather in between and work on projects or getting ready for exams. But it's been a really natural, it's been a really interesting thing to watch develop as we've had the ACE. There's a real passion for learning on campus. The president has said numerous times that it's just created a culture of excellence on the campus where students really want to do their very best in class. I love this picture. I've got a young man working a differential equation on the top of the board, and across the bottom, Sierra is working something in chemistry. He's actually a mechanical engineer now, and she is teaching at one of our local high schools, our dual enrollment TRIG class this semester. But we have a greater access to faculty. Sometimes the staff and ACE are liaisons to the faculty, but if they're an issue trying to work on things. But we have a really great faculty on this campus. And one of the things that, that they'll tell us what they need their students to have. And we've added a bone room. I know we were talking about that in one of the last presentations about being able to do mock labs. They're right. Students have never taken a test like that, where you have to move from station to station. So we're able to set up, with the help of our faculty, uh, mock labs before they take those anatomy exams for those courses, and the students have done much better. We have an ability, because of the ACE and our direct line to students and faculty, it allows our institution to quickly address issues, whether it's legislative mandates like DevEd, where there was a big changes with that, or forgive me for my Harry Potter reference, but we have a defense against the dark arts area, and our chemistry teacher has changed quite often, like the one in Harry Potter. And so when we have new faculty, then there are new issues there, trying to integrate their material and what the students are going to have to know to be successful in those classes. And in chemistry, these students that are in there are taking Chem 1, Chem 2, Organic 1, Organic 2, all with the same teacher. So helping those teachers quickly adapt and us adapt to them has been one of the things that we've really been able to help with in the lab. Another thing that we've been able to work in is adding something ACE after hours. Because we are a commuter school, a lot of our students work, or they're dual enrollment and they go back to the high schools. So we've offered an ACE after hours that started in the MAT 1033 after the DevEd changes. After that, we've decided that we've managed to move into college algebra and some of the other courses. We also do a live chat during the day that we try to answer within the day, and it's a really efficient use of our staff as well. The academic excellence that we talk about, and I love this picture, it's our wall of honor, our students that have national recognition and awards and scholarships. And I talked earlier about how the last many were tutors in the lab. But these students that we have in here do very well, as well as the other students that they work with. So we really do promote access and excellence for all of our students on campus. Another issue, of course, you can see my background's very busy in my PowerPoint. It probably breaks every rule of PowerPoint. But I love the pictures of the trees. We were known in the panhandle of where Chipola is located for that beauty. And you can see that after that devastation a little over a year ago, that these are pictures actually from the lab. But we were able in the ACE to coordinate learning, community learning outcomes where students could come in and we could provide food for the students that would come. We didn't have a cafeteria. We had power a few hours before we started back on campus. The Learning Center is actually on the bottom slide, but you can see that we had trees. But we had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and we were able to facilitate getting all the supplies that our other sister institutions sent to us. And thank you very much for all those supplies that we received. And we're able to do that. But sometimes, again, ACE is just the place and where we can coordinate service projects for our community and our students. We've done very well, academically with performance-based funding that we've had in the past, and the different areas we have to do well in. So our institution as a stakeholder has done well by having the center. We've been able to help a lot with that. Our recent SACS visit, one of the commendations stated that ACE was praised by students and faculty alike on their visits, but they were really impressed by the degree of use that the site had. At one time when we were first open, the president would often apologize for the noise when he would bring a group through, but after a while, I think he finally realized that that was part of the strength for the ACE. It was a very loud, engaging place for students to learn. But it was cited by SACS as the number one strength of the college, and we're certainly very, very, very proud of that in here. And we have been recognized as a successful practice. We've been a bellwether finalist based on our adaptivity for other colleges to be able to adopt and modify. And even for large institutions that have multiple campuses, every campus has unique needs and a different student base often, and having centers like the ACE that utilize your best and brightest students would do well to serve to do that. Thank you very much for your attention today. If you have any questions, I'd love to take those.